To take the time today to show you all how you're able to access the Reach One Network application on your Amazon Fire TV. So without further ado, let's get things started. All right, so we're here on the landing page for the Fire TV. We're going to go ahead and use the voice command by saying, Alexa, open Reach One Network.
Here's Reach One Network.
And we're here. So we have the live section, radio section, and video section. So immediately you see Honey. You can definitely tap in over to see what's the buzz there. Consistent 24/7 good stuff, content over there, as well as, like I said, the radio section. Here we have some great things for your listening pleasure. Just in case you want to listen into some things, you may not want to, you might want to see anything. You want to listen. And last but not least, we have the video section, which is a repository of all the wonderful content that has come up and things that will be airing very soon. So I'm very excited to see what you guys think. So take some time, go through each tab, and really just dig into the content here. And make sure you guys are rating us, and we're just happy to see you guys do this content. My name is Queen K, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Hi everyone, my name is Queen K, and I'm a marketing specialist here at Honey. And I just wanted to take the time today to show you all how you're able to access the Reach One Network application on your Amazon Fire TV. So without further ado, let's get things started. All right, so we're here on the landing page for the Fire TV. We're going to go ahead and use the voice command by saying, Alexa, open Reach One Network.
Here's Reach One Network.
And we're here. So we have the live section, radio section, and video section. So immediately you see honey, you can definitely tap in over to see what's the buzz there. Consistent 24/7 good stuff, content over there, as well as, like I said, the radio section. Here we have some great things for your listening pleasure. Just in case you want to listen into some things you may not want to, you might want to see anything. You want to listen. And last but not least, we have the video section, which is a repository of all the wonderful content that has come up and things that will be airing very soon. So I'm very excited to see what you guys think. So take some time, go through each tab, and really just dig into the content here. And make sure you guys are rating us, and we're just happy to see you guys do this content. My name is Queen K, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Hi everyone, my name is Queen K, and I'm a marketing specialist here at Honey. And I just wanted to take the time today to show you all how you're able to access the Reach One Network application on your Amazon Fire TV. So without further ado, let's get things started. All right, so we're here on the landing page for the Fire TV. We're gonna go ahead and use the voice command by searching by saying, Alexa, open Reach One Network.
Here's Reach One Network.
And we're here. So we have the live section, radio section, and video section. So immediately you see honey, you can definitely tap in over to see what's the buzz there. Consistent 24/7 good stuff, content over there, as well as, like I said, the radio section. Here we have some great things for your listening pleasure. Just in case you want to listen into some things you may not want to, you might want to see anything. You want to listen. And last but not least, we have the video section, which is a repository of all the wonderful content that has come up and things that will be airing very soon. So I'm very excited to see what you guys think. So take some time, go through each tab, and really just dig into the content here. And make sure you guys are rating us, and we're just happy to see you guys do this content. My name is Queen K, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
There we go. There we go. Hey y'all, it's therapy ain't no joke. What's going on, everybody? Let me just do something a little bit different here because we've been doing some experimenting over the past few days. I haven't done that in a while. Just wanted to kind of bring the claps in and everything just to add that special effect in there. Now we can get back to the music in the background. Sean Garvin with you with my brother Rasta. How you doing, Rasta?
And I'm great on purpose, elevating the best way I can, doing mental health the best way I can do mental health.
Absolutely, man. Brooklyn is in the house, representing, always.
And just in case you missed it.
There you go. Got to show that. Indeed. How's
the
weather?
If I look down, you can see it.
Oh, yeah, you got to let them know 2 times. Not only 1 time, but 2 times. Yeah. I was going to ask you, how's the weather up there? But you're not in New York anymore. You're in Georgia. You're in the South. So you're pretty much in the same boat as me with the weather and everything. It is hot. Like, if you add an extra heat to it.
I called up there. It's cooking up there too.
Yeah.
It's cooking up there too.
Yeah. So everybody, public service announcement, and this also helps with your mental health. Please, everybody, stay hydrated, stay cool. And if you are an elderly person, a senior citizen, and you need additional services, because we know how vulnerable senior citizens can get during this season of the year where temperatures are at a record high and it's hot and everything, please go seek immediate assistance. Please go next door to your neighbor or to the person across the street for assistance. And what I want to do behind the scenes, Rasta, we're going to get some resources for people that are watching us. Therapy ain't no joke. If you are in need of additional resources to get some AC or some fans inside your home during this hot, sweating months. So we want to advise you, everybody, especially if you have kids. Of course, kids are out during the summertime, And anybody can easily get a heat stroke. And heat strokes also lead to mental illnesses. So definitely take care of each other during these summer months. And please be advised to take the necessary precautions when you go outdoors. I mean, people are going to be vacationing. We're coming up on the 4th of July weekend, Rasta. A lot of people are going to be going out of town, visiting family and friends and what have you. If you happen to be on a beach, going outside, please put on some, what is it? Skin, it's lotion. I can't think of it right now. Oh,
sunscreen.
Sunscreen. Thank you, Rasta. Thank you. Yeah, sunscreen. Put on some sunscreen there when you are heading out to the beach, okay? So we're gonna on next week's show or one of our episodes coming up, we're gonna give you all some resources, some information on how to protect yourself and one another during these hot summer months. Thank you so much for tuning in. Therapy ain't no joke. If you are a first-time viewer or a listener to the show, this is in which we talk about all things considered mental health in our community. And thank goodness, Rasta, that I got my coffee. I know it's kind of unorthodox to be drinking coffee during this hot weather. You do it? I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one, but no.
I coffee, whichever one it is. It don't matter if it's hot. That's the taste I got. Going with it. Just got to bring the towel with
you. Yeah. Got to bring the towel. Got to bring the cloth. Got to bring something. Indeed. You know what I like to do? I have a big announcement to make to our viewers out there. But I haven't been doing this in a while, Rasta. And when I was doing the mental space on WAOK, going into the show at the very beginning of the show, I would do a breathing exercise. Nothing too long-winded, very quick, just for everybody that is going through some type of stressful day or going through some type of anxiety or going through some type of mental health crisis, if you will. We do a breathing exercise and we do 2 breaths. And so in case I need to remind everybody or those who tuned into the mental space, at the beginning of the show, we do something like this. I close my eyes. Everybody's different. Some people leave their eyes open. Some people leave their eyes closed. And at the beginning, we do something like this. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Man, that felt so good. I wish I can do it a little bit longer, but because we're in the interest of time and we gotta get into the topic at hand, I want us to do that every day, not just only for this show, but every day when you have an opportunity and when you have an open window, right? Rasta, anything you want to say to our viewers and to our listeners before we get into this big announcement?
Remember, mental health is important. If you need a mental health day, that means just taking a moment to clear your mind, clear your thoughts. Please do so. It's important you make space and time for you. Once again, we have to remind each other that therapy is not a joke. Okay? Therapy ain't no joke. So take your therapy serious. Take your mindfulness serious. Just like the brother was using breathing techniques. Some of those things are called mindful exercises, right? So there's different kinds. Just to throw one out there before you jump into it. It's one that they call 4-4-4, right? Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, and then do it again. It helps in times of anxiety, stress. They also have one called leaves on a string, right? You breathe, close your eyes, visualize yourself by a stream. Take time, hear nature, hear the birds, hear whatever it is you want to hear that's peaceful, like literally hear it. feel it. When you're in that moment, take your burdens or take what's troubling you. Think about it. See the thought. Take it. Put it on the leaf. And watch it go down the stream until it disappears. And do it as often as you can. And you'll feel so, what they call it, invigorating.
Invigorating.
Yeah.
I love it. Definitely take heed to that, ladies and gentlemen, to help you with your mental health and your mental well-being. Of course, just a friendly reminder from the good folks here at Therapy Ain't No Joke. All right, so big announcement, ladies and gentlemen. The announcement that you all been waiting for here on Therapy Ain't No Joke. And with Therapy Ain't No Joke, we always want to take into account that this show not only helps people or bring awareness about mental health, but we're always evolving and taking the show to the next level. So with that being said, Therapy Ain't No Joke. The episodes, including tonight's episode and all of the past archive episodes of Therapy Ain't No Joke, will no longer be on Honey. I repeat, all of the episodes, the past episodes from episode 1 of Therapy Ain't No Joke to tonight's episode will no longer be on Honey. We will still be on YouTube on the Reach One Network, as well as other subsidiaries, including Atlanta Community Media Channel 24. I'm happy that we're still on with them. That's linear TV, by the way. If you are a Comcast subscriber, Xfinity subscriber, you can still check us out on Comcast Channel 24 and on the website, in which I will, which we have it at the bottom below there. Thank you, producer, at Atlanta24communitymedia.com. We have it there at the bottom. But we're going to be creating our own TikTok page, which means that people will get a chance to watch content, past and present and future episodes of Therapy Ain't No Joke on TikTok. So I'm happy about that because we're expanding. And Rasta, I like to have us meet where people are in the world of social media to help people with their mental well-being. So we're going to create a TikTok page dedicated to mental health and mental health only. Now, we already have Instagram at the Mental Space Live on Instagram. It should be there in the ticker at the bottom there. And of course, we already have a YouTube channel, the Mental Space Show on YouTube. But we need something for all of our TikTok followers as well. So we're going to create a page dedicated to all things mental health and mental illness, and also have something where we have different therapists and psychiatrists come on and share their stories about mental health and mental awareness. So we're going to have that up in a few days, but I'm glad to say that we're going to be bringing past and new content of Therapy Ain't No Joke on TikTok. So I'm very happy about that. That deserves another round of applause there. Thank you. Yeah, now we already have a few TikTok pages, but we want to keep the mental health separate from that. And we're going to be still using the name Mental Space, by the way, which of course, this show, Therapy Ain't No Joke, is an offspring from the Mental Space, aired originally on 1380 WALK here in Atlanta. So that's the big announcement. We're always, like I said, we're always evolving. We're always looking for expansion with our mental space show, our Therapy Ain't No Joke show, because, we're in the effort of helping people. And Rasta, we living in some very, very challenging times right now in the world, in the country. And we want to be able to use the platforms and resources that are out there to reach people that are dealing with so many mental health crises affecting them, affecting their community, affecting their family, man. It's a lot to take in, and I don't want to spend the tonight's show to talk about those things, of course. I mean, that will be for a different episode, but how do you feel? Just give us like a brief assessment so far of how you feel things are happening right now in the country, especially under the leadership of President Donald Trump.
Put my faith in the Creator and my ability to navigate through all things. There are some plus sides to what's going on in the world as a whole, but there are also things that appear to have selfish or ill-gotten gains identified by the corporation that we live in. And for the record, please, everybody that's watching, that tunes in, please know that Therapy Ain't No Joke gives out facts. We support people's opinion because that is therapeutic when it's respectful and positive. Okay. However, we give out facts and supporting assistance. The fact is, America is not a country. America is a corporation. It's been like that for many, many years. This corporation is located in the District of Columbia, which does not have a physical address. I'm going to let y'all do the math to that and get the digging. So, this is a corporation and they're making business moves, and they're making business moves accordingly. It's only but so much I can say about it. We was all signed up to the corporation without us even knowing. That's a whole nother episode. Trust me, y'all will love that one. It's very therapeutic. But
Right.
That's just my stance on it.
That's just your stance on it, man. Well, there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Be on the lookout for when that episode will drop. Rasta, we're coming up towards the end of June. And this month is, or was, if I can say it in past tense, was solely supposed to be dedicated to men. June, Men's Health Month, as well as Men's Mental Health Month. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I'm a bit disappointed.
Yes.
I'm very, and I know Rasta understands where I'm coming from with this. I'm a bit disappointed that a lot of things, a lot of items on the table have overshadowed the purpose of Men's Mental Health Month. A lot of things in the news, a lot of stories that were covered this month in June. And as a man, as a Black man, and as a mental health advocate, I am upset and I'm very disappointed that this moment that us as men get once a year annually, that is supposed to be celebrated, but yet advocated, has been overshadowed by a lot of foolishness, a lot of opinions, a lot of things that do not do us a justice in order for men to get the help that we need, to get the access that we need for our mental health, and to come together. I mean, I can go on and on and on, Rasta and our viewers, but we have to ask ourselves, how long are we going to keep doing this? How long are we going to keep being attentive to things and to stories in the news and to the media and things that are not too important to us? I mean, you know, I'm not going to even take the time or the energy, folks, to really explain or to talk about what those items are. If you are aware of what's been going on in the news and I'm not talking about the situation that's going on with Iran and all things politics. Of course, politics and things that's going on and what Rasta said in this corporation in this world. I'm not saying that that's not important. I mean, that's definitely important because you want to be able to know what's going on around the world. But there's been stories coming out of the entertainment world that people, especially people online and on social media, spend too much time putting their attention on. These people in the entertainment world don't pay our bills. These people in the entertainment world don't care whether or not our mental health is intact. These
At all.
people in the entertainment world, these people in the entertainment world, um, don't look at us as men as the same. And so, I don't know, Rasta. I don't mean to come into tonight's episode because I do want to touch on tonight's topic, which is masculinity and mental health. But that's what's been going through my mind lately. And I mean, let's say you for a second. Do you feel? And I kind of feel like I'm getting the answer from you that I need to hear. But do you feel like everything has overshadowed Men's Mental Health Month due to people's attentive state towards things that may come off irrelevant, if you will?
Yes. And to support you to the utmost, we can actually dig into that because that dives into the state or appeared state of being a male and identifying with what is considered masculinity. So, in general language of the people, uh, it's actually demasculating, um, according to the general consensus. Men before us, political wise, ignorant wise, and things, men who have had hidden agendas, made men so and in control and this, that, and the third, and everything else is less than them to the point where it came off oppressive. So people in general have bucked that to the point where now we're just insignificant until we're needed in a lot of spaces. Now, I want to make it clear, not everyone thinks like that. However, overall, the proof is Father's Day is not in the top 5, and it might not be in the top 10 holidays. Mental Health Month, which is this month, who actually knows about it? Who told someone? See, there's a lot of months being allocated to people, places, and things, but no one is spreading that. If a person just does, pardon me, if a person doesn't just so happen to run across it or someone who knows about it, excuse me, they would never know. So where's the promotion of that? It's just like, and this is slightly controversial, so I'm gonna tap in and get as far away from it as possible. Juneteenth. What is Juneteenth? All people know is they might get off that day if they are of melanated color. And other people may enjoy that day because they may get off because it's been a day designated for this. But what is it? Who knows about it? Who knows where it came from? Why it started? What was the purpose? What happened on that day? But everybody want to celebrate this day, though, right? Forget this day. What about every day? What about the acknowledgement of men, what they endure, how they endure it, the way they endure it, the way they was programmed to endure it is a sickening factor. Please understand, this does not take away from any female at all. This is based off the topic of males, masculinity, and men's mental health month. So please, let's take that into consideration when we begin to comment and bring more emphasis to this topic and ask questions and things of that nature, or people see this on a rewind and don't get it twisted that there's no bashing here. We're literally speaking facts. So my stance on that is, yes, it's a lot of things that are irrelevant. And there are a lot of people who are inconsiderate to the stabilization of a man's mental health. There's this catering going on, but the catering is hidden. The catering is softened just so there are people who can say that they're doing something. Now, if we want to go to the elite, so to speak, upper echelon celebrities, if this is what we want to call them, they're still slaves. They're still slaves. There's no physical change, but the money is the chain. That contract is the chain. It is. So let's take male celebrities, since it's male's mental health month, and we're dealing with masculinity, right? Let's keep it on. Let's keep it on the same page, right? All these males, especially melanated males, not anti anybody. These are facts. You get all this money, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. Congratulations. Kudos. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you ain't got to go through the struggles that you used to go through. However, let's identify the fact that there's still no hospitals. There's still no libraries. There are still no schools in these communities. There are no outreach for men made by these celebrities. And then they're only in the places where they grew up. But you have hundreds of millions of dollars. Y'all got opinion on world wars and all of this, but where the money going to? Oh, what they don't want to tell you is they can't, y'all. It's in their contract. They cannot do it. So, to a degree, don't be mad at them. Don't be mad at them. Why do you think they get famous and then they fall back and you don't hear nothing from them? They'll buy franchises, right? But think about this: they don't own that. They don't. They're paying to use the name, so they don't own that either. Oh, I own a Wingstop. Oh, I own a Walmart. No, you're paying for the name. You're renting it still. Let's be realistic. All of this propaganda of pushing out a certain image and a certain agenda that does not cater to the stable mental health well-being of men, especially melanated men. Let's stop the foolery. Everybody want, guess what? We can go right now, me and you. We can meet up right now and go to the nearby Walmart, right? Or nearby get together and get 30 men. I want to say 100, but we'll get 30 men. Ask them who in the playoffs, who's not in the playoffs, why they missed the playoffs, who getting paid, what they getting paid, who their coach is, and every team they've been on, what college team they've been on. But they forget their daggone anniversary. Boy, stop. If that's not a mental health issue, don't nobody think about it like that, though. You can't remember you and your wife's anniversary, or sometimes you forget when her birthday come up unless she reminds you. If you can tell me what LeBron scored in his first year of college when he still had a full head of hair and his homeboys was in the stands cheering, stop playing with me. That's sickening. You forgot your daughter or your son's recital, basketball game or football game or martial arts competition or boxing competition. You forgot about that. And you knew about it for the last 2 weeks. But 2 years ago, you knew about LeBron 5 years before that and what he scored and what game he did it in. Stop playing. That's a mental health issue for a man. You can remember who built what car, what year it was, how fast it went, how much horsepower it had, the size of the motor, who rebuilt it, what size turbo it had in it, and what it did from 0 to 60. But you forgot your mama needed medicine, and you forgot to stop by the store and pick it up on your way home.
Mm.
Oh, but let's not forget you was rushing home so you can catch the game. That's sickening. That's a mental health issue. So if we can identify these small things that are leading to huge things as a mental health issue, but we could only identify it in 1 month.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful to the real men who do everything they can mentally, spiritually, and emotionally to provide for their family in silence, to take care of their family in silence, to love their family in silence. And when I say in silence, what I'm saying is all the pressures, all the anxiety, all the tears, all the pain. Go outside, work 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hours, 5, 6, 7 days a week. And all they want somebody to do is to say, I appreciate you and I love you. But all they say is, can I have? And when you say, not right now, you're the enemy of the state. You think that's not going to shake his mental health? The people that he would literally die for and doing his best to live for are the people that's destroying him and don't even know it. But don't get me started. I guess I do too much. But let's be realistic, because therapy is not a joke. And everything I'm saying tonight is a form of therapy because it's bringing awareness to a circumstance and a situation that is not just happening at the highest level, but at the lowest level. Lowest, not to be offensive. Lowest just means anyone at a certain point that's not where they want to be.
Mm. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, Ross, look, I agree with you 1,000%, and that was something that needed to be heard. We needed to hear that. Accountability at the end of the day is like kryptonite to a lot of folks, and self accountability will take you a long way. Trust me, you all. I mean, I know it's easy to point the finger at somebody else, to point the finger at a particular group of people, or to point the finger at the powers that be and stuff. But when's the last time you looked into the mirror? There was a quote that Jason Wilson, and those are two names that you're going to hear again and again during tonight's show, because we're going to play an excerpt from his appearance on Tamara Hall's show in just a little bit. But Jason Wilson once said, and it was in a video that went viral on the internet recently, he said that, and I'm just going to paraphrase what he said. He said that there's too many people behind the mics and not in front of a mirror. I thought that was deep by him saying that. It's too many people behind the mics and not in front of a mirror. You know, and in the world of the internet, and I go back to the internet, ladies and gentlemen, in the world of the internet and online and everything at the palm of our hands and at our fingertips, we go online, we vent about the problems without any solutions, without any information, and then we take those problems and we take it to the streets and we put it on other people, and now somebody is dead. Somebody has lost their son. Somebody has lost their brother. Somebody has lost their sister. Somebody has lost their cousin, their aunt, their niece, their mother, their father. But yet, no accountability. No accountability in our community. And definitely that's not a joke. That's definitely not a joke. We usually do this towards the end of the program. I want to show and display this information to our viewers and our listeners early on. If you or someone you know is dealing with a form of crisis and having suicidal thoughts, we do have the 988 number available to you all 24/7, 365. Dial the Crisis and Suicide Lifeline at 988 if you or someone you know is facing a mental health crisis. Once again, dial the Crisis and Suicide Lifeline number at 988 if you or someone you know is facing a mental health crisis. And also, and by the way, too, we did post the StreamYard link. So any of you all want to chime in on tonight's conversation, of course, we're going to continue to open the platform up to people that have a question or a comment, whether it's a question for me, whether it's a question for Rasta. We're going to always open that platform up to everybody in real time. If you have a question or feedback or any comments you would like to make during tonight's show, please put it in the comment section. If you are a YouTube subscriber to our YouTube channel, you can put it there, on Instagram at Sean Garvey ATL. Rasta raised a very important question. What is a man's true mirror? I know that's not the main topic for tonight's show, but that's a good question. What is a man's true mirror? And for those, Rasta, that is pretty much contemplating in their head what that question really means, and we want to have some people chime in and answer that. Can you expound on that behind the question, what is a man's true mirror, if you may?
Yes. Just a few minutes ago, when you were speaking about the quote that the brother made, and he was saying, in general, there's too many people behind the mic and not in front of the mirror. Yet, the question I pose is, every man, because this is Mental Health Month, it applies to everybody, but we're speaking about men. Every man's true mirror, that which reflects, every man's true mirror is his actions, the result of his actions, the remnants of that in which he is done, and the effort that he puts in continuously to be the best version of himself. I say that because realistically, when you look in a mirror, it's an introverted version of you. Everything in the mirror is literally opposite of you. So what reflection are we taught to see when we look in the mirror, when the mirror technically isn't you and is a backwards version of you? So which one is real? I bring stuff like that up because we have to open up our state of mind and how we think to the point where it is therapeutic to realize the truth and to accept it and assess things that have been placed in front of us. Let the proof be, quote unquote, in the pudding. Don't feed me anything, and then when I believe anything, and then when I realize what the truth is, and I'm mad and you don't understand, it's not right. So that's what I mean by what is a man's true mirror? Because the actual mirror is not you, and it's a backwards version of you. So am I supposed to believe that? Or am I supposed to believe the evidence of all that I do and the remnants I leave behind that will identify? There are things in this world that you cannot see, but you only know them by their results. That's a man, God, that which we call air. You can't see none of this. You only see the results of it to identify that that's what that is. So when we bring up mirrors, no, because even that is false. That is what you call therapy. The exception and acceptance of reality. Because we have to accept it. When they say, look at your reflection, look how you are, see the things that you're doing, don't you want to change? The truth of that is looking at the results and the remnants of what you've done and what you leave to identify who you are. So that you can make the decision now to create something better in the future. You remember The Matrix, the movie?
Yeah.
I love that movie. Goodness gracious, it's in my top 3. It's in my top 3. Everybody thinks there's different parts. No, it's only one movie. They broke it down into sections, but literally it continues, leaves off from exactly where the last one left off. It's one movie. So perception is everything. When Neo was talking to the Oracle in the park, and they was talking about the cookie, and she offered him the cookie, and he said something to the effect of, well, if you knew I was gonna take the cookie, then why offer me the cookie? She said, the Oracle said, you're not here to necessarily make a decision. You're here to comprehend and understand the decisions you've already made. That is my favorite part of the entire movie. I love the movie as a whole, but that right there, you and I are not here necessarily, not saying it's not a part of the equation, but we're not here to necessarily make another decision. We're here to comprehend the decision we've already made that got us here. You're here in the remnants, the results of all the work that you've put in to get here. That's how we know who you are. You don't need no mirror. Think about what you did. Those mirrors were created, we think, so we can see ourselves, get dressed, and so forth and so on. Do you see how our ancestors dressed? They ain't had no mirror. They didn't have no mirror. How often either one of us get dressed and we're around our best friend or a family member or our loved one, our old lady, and to be politically correct, those who are not into females, hey, we love y'all too, your significant other, respect due. And you were getting dressed and you turned around and it was like, hold up, that ain't right. Let me fix that for you. You don't need no mirror. But what was that action in its simplest form? A result of what you've already done. That's how we know if you did it right. It's a result. Everything, the truest mirror is your actions. They will reflect all that there is. You don't need nothing physical that casts a reflection to look at to identify anything. So, with that light and the comment in which you said about the brother, and there's nothing against him, great brother, keep doing great things. But we have to find the meaning behind everything that we say so that we, as the young folks say, we really stand in our business. Yes, too many men behind the mic, not enough men paying attention to the remnants and the results of the things they've done in order to make better decisions so that the future will be better. But they don't hear me though.
Well, let me chime in, and we got some comments here that I'm going to read in just a few moments. And let me also say this for the record. I saw The Matrix for the first time when I was in school. It was a few months when it was a few months after it hit theaters. But then when it got to VHS and DVD at that time, our teacher at the time showed us the movie. And I'm one of the many people back then that didn't get it. I just knew that it was in an action genre of a lot of fights, explosions, those type of things that come along with an action movie. But I didn't understand the message of it. But then when I got older and older, and it's one of those films that they're going to keep showing you over and over and over and over again because it was a box office hit. The more I watched it, the more I became more aware of what the movie was about. Like, especially when you brought up perception and reality, that's what it was in the movie, and we have to look at the real mirror. That there's a mirror, and then there's the real mirror. So now that you broke that down, it does make a whole lot of sense, and it does tie into the movie reference that you just made, The Matrix. And even I myself, Sean, have to look at both mirrors. Looking at the mirror every day when I wake up. And I think about this a lot. When I wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, do all the things that I need to do before I go outside. And I look at myself at the mirror. I look at the mirror and I just stand there for a few moments. And I think to myself, when I'm looking at me, when I'm looking at Sean, what do I see? What is it that I see when I look at the same person that is on the opposite end of the mirror, right? I see a reflection of myself. But then when I'm in front of other people, when I'm out there in public places or public environments, public settings, I'm around people, what is it that they see me when they look at me? And what is it that I see when I look at them? So I think that's very, very important to say as we have in this conversation in the first half of Therapy Ain't No Joke. But I want to go to the comments here. And this is coming from No Weapon _athletics. And this person wrote 1 Corinthians 11:3, God over Christ, Christ over man, man over women, women over children is the order of God. The agendas of this world has changed this. Any thoughts to that comment there from No Weapon _athletics? Rasta?
Sure. First, the statement you made prior to reading the comment, which is, and I'm gonna tap on that and get off. Mirrors were made intentionally to make you question yourself. They weren't made as a reflection to see how you get dressed. Name a person or name a time in most cases, when a person looked in the mirror, they didn't ask themselves, who am I? What am I doing? What is my purpose? Am I all right? You're asking those questions because you don't know who that is in that reflection, because you know it's not you. Psychologically, you know that's not you. Who am I? Am I really this person? No, you're not. Mirrors were created for a psychological purpose, since we're on mental health. But we'll get back to that. No offense to anyone's way of life. Here at Therapy No Joke, we respect everybody's way of life, everybody's culture. Okay. If that's what allows you to be a great person and move forward in positivity and in righteousness and embrace the best version of yourself, then salutes to you and hats off. We may not always agree, but we can always agree to respect one another and come to a neutral ground, especially when it comes to someone's faith-based beliefs and what they truly believe in. God over Christ. If y'all ever notice, you don't hear me say God. I say the Creator. My personal preference. I think certain attributes given to that which is so awesome and so amazing to me is offensive to me, but I get where you're coming from. Christ is the anointing that falls upon me. If we look at the word also says that man is the glory of the Most High and a woman is the glory of man. Man can only be that glory of the Most High when he is endowed with the anointing, which is Christ. That spiritual guidance and upliftment of consciousness and well-being is definitely subjected to the Creator. Man is subject to the anointing, which is Christ, because we are all subject to the greatest version and highest version of ourselves, which we are all doing our best to be. The anointing, we all have it. We just have to tap into it. We have to tap into it. Man over woman, now that can be controversial. However, but within respects to the word, man over woman means as the man allows himself to follow the laws that the Creator has set forth, that woman is subject to that. So in essence, woman is still only subject to the Most High, just as man is. Let's break it down just a half a piece. Anybody ever notice when a man is following the Most High and doing the right thing, like a woman will bend over backwards, she'll do anything for him. Oh my God, that's my baby. But the minute he get to doing things of the world and they get to having disagreements and he keeps it up, she follows him still because she knows what's in him, but bucks him because it's in her innate nature to only follow the Creator that's in that man. So it's not necessarily man over woman. It's that Creator fearing man that follows the Most High that gives that man authority over that woman. Because guess what? According to the word, it says we are only to put the Creator first and nothing before him. Nothing. That's man and woman. You put nothing before the Most High. So how does that fall into play where a woman is subject to man? But the word says don't put nothing before him. Even if you go to church and a man is doing wrong and he's in a relationship, and what does the church tell the woman? Listen, yes, that's your husband, but you got to do what he tell you. You got to do what the Most High tell you. So we have to be mindful when reading the scripture and break it down so we know exactly the authority in which we're walking in. Yes, woman is subject to man when man is following the Most High. So that's the only time he's over her and still not over her, because she's only truly submitting to the Most High, that is the visual version coming through that man. And yes, the agendas of this world has changed this because we've allowed it. People fear the law of the land and not the law of the Creator. In the word, it says, give unto Caesar what is his. Meaning his just due respects. Don't put him over the Most High. Brother, don't do that. You know, if you do that, that's breaking the law. You're going to go to jail. No. If it is righteous and true and according to the word in which the Most High has saw fit, take me to jail, homie. Because I'm going to do what he said. He gonna bust me out. He going to turn me loose. I guarantee you, he going to turn me loose. It's been proven. It's been proven. Now you're talking to someone who, unfortunately, and at this point, fortunately, has had many encounters with the law in my previous life, in my previous endeavors in life. So I'm telling you what I know for a fact. Matter of fact, perfect agenda. The first interview that Sean and I did, from street life to peer. The proof in the pudding, y'all. If I can change, you can. If I can get help, you can. So to no weapon, listen, keep up the great work. Keep the comments coming. Keep the upliftment coming. We have no problem building on the word in the mental health space as far as bringing clarity. And remember what the word says, no quarreling over the word. Man, be great on purpose.
All right. Great segue to the second hour of Therapy Ain't No Joke. And thank you so much, No Weapon _athletics. Let everybody know to tune into Therapy Ain't No Joke Wednesday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on all different platforms, including Channel 24 in Atlanta, the Flow Television Network, Reach One Network on YouTube. We're going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a breather. And when we come back, we're going to go into our topic question, or not so much of a question, but more of a discussion, if you will, centering around masculinity and mental health. We're going to play an excerpt in which Jason Wilson was a guest on Tamara Hall's show just a few minutes ago. And actually, this is a good time because we got Vonda actually. Vonda, hey Vonda, hey, I'm gonna speak to you offline. We're taking a break. We're doing a live show. We're doing a live broadcast. We're a roster. We want you to jump in. Can you jump in on tonight's show if we send you the link?
Yeah, where was it on Instagram?
It's on YouTube. I'm gonna send you the link. Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. First time right here on Therapy Ain't No Joke. All right. We're gonna have Vonda come on tonight on the second hour of Therapy Ain't No Joke, and we're gonna have a conversation of masculinity and mental health. I am so excited. This may be one of my best episodes right here. We're gonna take a break. Therapy Ain't No Joke, Sean Garvey and Boston. Keep the comments coming in. We also have the StreamYard link at the bottom, and also we are taking your comments and your feedback. Make sure you put them in Instagram at Sean Garvey ATL or YouTube at Reach One Network. We'll be right back after these messages.
wanted to take the time today to show you all how you're able to access the Reach One Network application on your Amazon Fire TV. So without further ado, let's get things started. All right, so we're here on the landing page for the Fire TV. We're going to go ahead and use the voice command by searching by saying, Alexa, open Reach One Network.
Here's Reach One Network.
And we're here. So we have the live section, radio section, and video section. So immediately you see Honey. You can definitely tap in over to see what's the buzz there. Consistent 24/7 good stuff, content over there, as well as, like I said, the radio section. Here we have some great things for your listening pleasure. Just in case you want to listen into some things, you may not want to, you might want to see anything. You want to listen. And last but not least, we have the video section, which is a repository of all the wonderful content that has come up and things that will be airing very soon. So I'm very excited to see what you guys think. So take some time, go through each tab, and really just dig into the content here. And make sure you guys are rating us, and we're just happy to see you guys do this content. My name is Queen K, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Hi everyone, my name is Queen K, and I'm a marketing specialist here at Honey. And I just wanted to take the time today to show you all how you're able to access the Reach One Network application on your Amazon Fire TV. So without further ado, let's get things started. All right, so we're here on the landing page for the Fire TV. We're going to go ahead and use the voice command by searching by saying, Alexa, open Reach One Network.
Here's Reach One Network.
And we're here. So we have the live section, radio section, and video section. So immediately you see Honey. You can definitely tap in over to see what's the buzz there. Consistent 24/7 good stuff, content over there, as well as, like I said, the radio section. Here we have some great things for your listening pleasure. Just in case you want to listen into some things, you may not want to, you might want to see anything. You want to listen. And last but not least, we have the video section, which is a repository of all the wonderful content that has come up and things that will be airing very soon. So I'm very excited to see what you guys think. So take some time, go through each tab, and really just dig into the content here. And make sure you guys are rating us, and we're just happy to see you guys do this content. My name is Queen K, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Your Tubies of the world, your Hulu, your Netflix, your Peacock. What separates Honey from all the other competitors?
That's a great question, Sean. Let's talk about what separates Honey from other streaming apps. First off, Honey offers cutting-edge content with a wide selection of a variety. They're even offering an adult pay-per-view section. But a more important question, what's in it for you? Well, here at Honey, we offer a premium choice to the public. So that means if you're a filmmaker or content creator, we give you the chance to submit your films for free to be featured on Roku itself. How insane is that? Of course, to sustain this and grow our efforts, we need all the support we can get. That's why we're asking you to join our cause in donating to Honey. Now, we know our goal may appear to come off as a bit steep, but the truth is any donation, even in the smallest form, would be greatly appreciated. Please join our cause. Every contribution makes a difference.
Your Tubies of the world, your Hulu, your Netflix, your Peacock. What separates Honey from all the other competitors?
That's a great question, Sean. Let's talk about what separates Honey from other streaming apps. First off, Honey offers cutting-edge content with a wide selection of a variety. They're even offering an adult pay-per-view section. But a more important question, what's in it for you? Well, here at Honey, we offer a premium choice to the public. So that means if you're a filmmaker or content creator, we give you the chance to submit your films for free to be featured on Roku itself. How insane is that? Of course, to sustain this and grow our efforts, we need all the support we can get. That's why we're asking you to join our cause in donating to Honey. Now, we know our goal may appear to come off as a bit steep, but the truth is any donation, even in the smallest form, would be greatly appreciated. Please join our cause. Every contribution makes a difference.
Your Tubies of the world, your Hulu, your Netflix, your Peacock. What separates Honey from all the other competitors?
That's a great question, Sean. Let's talk.
Okay. Awesome. Sweet. All right. Welcome back. Second hour of Therapy Ain't No Joke. Sean Garvey here playing the role of producer and host simultaneously, joining with my brother, another mother, Rasta, and we have a special surprise right that we already. It used to be called the mental space. So it's very ironic that we're bringing her on second time around on this wonderful show as we write brand new therapy. We got Wanda joining with us. There we go. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
How's everybody doing?
What's going
Oh,
on?
okay, we're doing wonderful. Doing wonderful. Rasta, this is Vonda. Vonda, this is Rasta.
Nice to meet you, Rasta.
Greetings. How are you?
Pleasure. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. There ain't no joke, Sean.
Thank you, and welcome back to the show. Shout outs to Jamie, your sister. Way back, not too way back, but 2 years ago, of course, like I mentioned earlier in the program when I was doing the mental space on WAOK, we had the pleasure and the opportunity of bringing Jamie on, who is a licensed therapist, correct? A licensed therapist on the show. We were talking, and she was actually, ironically speaking, Vonda, she was on the same episode as Lightworker Wayne, in which we had the pleasure of having him on Therapy Ain't No Joke a couple of weeks ago. So this is just a full circle moment here. And Vonda, for our first time viewers or people that are just now getting acquainted or reacquainted with you, tell the viewers, tell the listeners about your background and who Vonda is.
Sure. And one of the important details left out on that episode, that is when you introduced to your audience at that time the incipients of honey. So that was in November 2023 for the viewers. That was the birth and the incipients of honey. So it is a monumental episode. If anyone can go back and understand where you are now, is because of that episode. We were able to be in an environment where we had different important topics. I'm not a therapist. I have years of experience working in media, particularly 15 years working at CNN. And for the last 5 years, I've been working and helping political consulting, clients, and branding. So I'm able to do that. But most importantly is to help people get connected, to colleate people together. So that's something I really take seriously. Obviously, being a guest in spaces like this is important because you don't know who you reach. And now digital is the way to reach people. So I'm really thankful for that. So it's great to meet you, Rasta. See you again, Sean, and everyone else out there. Therapy ain't no joke, and that's why we're here.
Thank you. And Vonda, I may add, is a very big supporter of Therapy Ain't No Joke and all the other shows that are what I consider as spinoffs from the Beat Break Morning Show. The Beat Break Morning Show has more of a legacy than all of the other shows, including this one that you see before you. But it is such an honor and such a pleasure to have you back on here, Vonda. And it's Vonda Monet LLC. Is that the name of your brand, if I'm not mistaken?
It is. And I will make sure the website be sent very soon. I am working on that. It's a project and it's something I need to finish. But that is my LLC, Vonda Monet LLC. I've been able to have that LLC since 2017 when I was still working at CNN. So I will make sure to leave that social media handle. You can reach me on Instagram also at Vonda Monet, VONDA MONE on Instagram. So that's the easiest way to reach me.
Awesome. We're going to make sure we're going to have that on display towards the end of the show. Didn't mean to catch you off guard, Vonda, but this is perfect timing. A good time to bring you on, Vonda, because Vonda, you are a single mother with a son who is, if it's fair to say, is on the spectrum.
Correct.
Okay. And we're talking about masculinity and mental health. Early in the program, we talked a little bit about how things in the media, especially this month and this month alone in June, as we're approaching July, how a lot of things in the media overshadow the importance and at the same time the celebratory of Men's Health Month and Men's Mental Health Month. And it was so many layers that me and Rasta peeled back and covered within the first hour of the show. And so what I would like to do is, let me make sure, once again, I'm playing producer at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, so bear with me. This is the beat that I want to play. Okay, there we go. So what I want to do is transition and switch gears to play an excerpt from Tamara Hall. Now, if you all know Tamara Hall, she's a daytime talk show, a syndicated daytime talk show host, and she recently had author, motivational speaker, and YouTuber, podcaster, Jason Wilson on the show, and he broke down the misconceptions of masculinity, including the word being added on top of masculinity, calling it toxic masculinity. So just as a disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, we do not own the rights to this video content that we're going to show our viewers. We do not own the rights, but I think it's only right, Rasta and Vonda, that we show this video to our viewers out there just in case they didn't catch it. But it did go viral. It went all over the internet. It got a lot of people from both sides, men and women, talking about it for days. But for some that need a refresher or haven't seen it or want to see it again, here it is. We're going to play it and then we're going to talk about it. So here's an excerpt from the Tamara Hall show in which Jason Wilson, and not just only Jason Wilson, but Jalen Rose, NBA superstar player, touching on masculinity. Here it goes.
Welcome back. Today we're having an important conversation about what it means to raise good boys and young men. We're back with NBA legend Jalen Rose, and Jalen has made it his mission to empower the next generation, and he's doing so alongside his friend and best-selling author of the new book. It's called The Man the Moment Demands, Jason Wilson, and in it he offers a path, he says, to freedom for men. Let me read a little bit. It says, in a world where misinformation distorts the essence of manhood and societal expectations push men into emotional incarceration. Here's a clip from the book.
When I finally understood my own emotional struggles and learned how to reconnect with my heart, I realized that I had been emotionally incarcerated. I understood how my upbringing had subtly ingrained in me an unyielding resistance to becoming a whole person. I couldn't be a complete man for my family, friends, and loved ones because I couldn't be one for myself. That's when I began to learn what it means to be a comprehensive man.
Please welcome the brilliant author behind this much talked about book, Jason Wilson! Listen, this is huge. I am so happy. I saw a social media post that one of you put up, and I immediately called the team. I was like, this is my dream team. This is my fab too, because this is the conversation. Jason, why are we having it now in this way? What is the temperature out there?
I believe we reached a tipping point in regards to masculinity and manhood. Men are tired of being just providers and protectors. We desire a life more fulfilling. And then also, I believe society is kind of disregarding the men, meaning how we feel and our roles in life. Frederick Douglass said it's easier to raise children than it is to repair broken men. Although that's true, I believe we're leaving men broken, and that wasn't his intention as well from that quote.
I have to tell you, I wrote my first children's book, and I had the protagonist be a little boy, and I had this conversation I was on The View, and I said, listen, as an empowered woman, I benefited from society saying, let's lift up girls. I mean, like I said, Wonder Woman had me thinking I could fly a clear plane, you know, and I benefited from it. And then I had a son, and I started to feel like boys are left behind. And it was tough for me to say it because I had some friends who identify themselves as feminists say, wait a minute, the world has put us down so long. And I said, but we can't leave them behind to lift us up. And that was a tough, I had some hard conversations with people because when you say boys are being left behind or men aren't being supported emotional, some people still believe, well, men have benefited.
We haven't benefited. It was a facade. We wear the cape like we're superheroes, but that cape is strangling us. And it starts from childhood. We're told big boys don't cry. Then when we get older, no pain, no gain. And then what doesn't kill you can only make you stronger. So I call those misleading mantras, and it's deceived us, actually hoodwinked us into a false manhood, something that's not comprehensive. We are also nurturers. We are also lovers. We're gentlemen. We're kind. We're compassionate. But at the same time, we're courageous.
Yeah.
And so when you hear terms like toxic masculinity, there's nothing toxic about being masculine.
Yeah.
If this
What do you
building
mean by
was,
that?
if this building was on fire, would you want passive firemen to come in here eating donuts, relax? No. You want men full of masculine attributes, courage, strength, boldness, kicking down doors and carrying us out of here to safety. So there's nothing toxic about masculinity. What has happened is we've allowed that one word to define manhood. It's just an adjective, attributes traditionally ascribed to men as strength, boldness, and aggression. It was never meant to be a comprehensive definition of what it means to be a man. And so when you pigeonhole men into just two attributes of life, and then you look at the stats which say we die by suicide almost 4 times as likely as women. We commit almost 90% of homicides in this country. 9 out of 10 people to live to be over 100 are women. What has happened to men is that we're not tired of living, we're tired of not living.
All right. Wow.
Wow.
There was a lot. There was a lot said, or thus far in that one part of the excerpt. And for those who are just tuning in, I just played just only a few minutes of that recent conversation between daytime talk show host Tamara Hall and author Jason Wilson as he was sitting next to NBA superstar Jalen Rose about masculinity in today's world, in today's society. Rasta, I know you got a lot you want to say, but towards the video and what you just saw, but I want to go to Vonda as a single mother with a son, a black son, if you will. What did you take away from that video?
First, thank you for introducing the topic. As I was driving home today, it came to my knowledge that this is Men's Mental Health Month. I didn't know that. I heard on the radio, and it was actually the music station I was listening to advertising for Better Health, which is an online therapy company. And one of the things that I have made it a very big, I think you and I have talked about this, Sean, as far as masculine and mental health. My son has a therapist. We use, I don't want to promote, you have your own opinion which company you use, but my son's been in online therapy since November. We have talked about topics of career. Recently, he has a job through DeKalb County. I have seen monumental growths about that. Simple things such as writing cursive, something that a lot of children don't do in schools right now, just small things. And what I learned from that clip, it's very interesting to hear from a man's perspective to define the word masculinity. And that last statement, we're not tired of living, we're tired of not living. So it's really good to know for me as a mother, how do I make sure my son feels comfortable? Do we have an open path for conversation? If it's not with his therapist and I'm a female, are there things I can do? And I even put in ChatGPT, create a schedule of things that I can do to bond with my 16-year-old son. We're now in the times of using AI, but to answer your question, what are ways that I, as a single mom of a black son, with all the things going on in society, how can I bond with my son so he does not be a statistic of suicide or feel that he's unheard. So my goal of things that I've tried to do is make sure I say I love you and show it through actions, and making sure he has a Black male therapist, which he does. I had to look for it. So those are things I'm learning in real time. I don't know if parents did it years ago, but for me, I want my son to have a direct access to me. Yes, his father does not live in our home. He has a relationship with him, but that doesn't mean that I don't listen to him. So he is in organizations such as 100 Black Men of DeKalb. They have a leadership program. We have a Black male therapist. And one of the things that I want to do, if any other women are out there, what can I do to lead him to people as far as role models? Even if he has a father, children now need to see examples of where they can put themselves in pictures. Thankfully, over a decade ago, we had, at that time, President Barack Obama, but we're in a different time now. So my role right now is to make sure he has access physically, mentally, be able to have that online communication with a Black male therapist, and certainly Black men in leadership positions. That's something I take very seriously.
And I want to remind people that this is a safe space to discuss and to give their thoughts. You know, there's going to be agreements and disagreements, but we can all agree to disagree on a safe space platform like Therapy Ain't No Joke. So I want to go over to Rasta. Rasta, your thoughts.
Once again, I'm never here to offend nor defend. Just bring an open eye to the truths that we all ignore. Sometimes because we don't know it's there, and then because sometimes accepting something that shakes our perception distorts our belief, and it's scary, so we immediately reject it. And we have to be mindful of that. Have to be mindful how we introduce the truth and identify it. We have been lied to for so long that the lie is our perception of belief, of a standard that we stand on and we defend. And when it's challenged, we get emotional. First, thank you for being on the show. Short notice, pulling up. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support. As far as the clip is concerned, it sounded good. It sounded like a push forward. But sometimes in the sounding of pushing forward, we know that sometimes even that's limited to what the person has within themselves as a whole. Let me break that down slightly. What does it mean to be masculine? It means to be a male. To be a male means to identify with one who can impregnate, one who can penetrate, literally. For those that don't, I mention it almost on every show. Please study etymology, the history and origin of words. That gives us where these words came from and identify how words have changed over time. I'm a stickler for old school. So if that's what it meant when it came out, then that's how I use it. That has helped me and it has hurt me. But I'd rather know the truth and it hurt me than continue to walk in a lie. Okay? So masculine is just pretty much to be a male. A male is identified by a sex or the power to penetrate. So, and it's identifying everything. Picture a bolt and, excuse the expression, a nut or fastener. You have the masculine, and that's what they call it, the masculine and the feminine. The bolt is the masculine. The fastener is the feminine. Because one is elongated and attaches to the other. It's just what it is. Okay? So if we know that masculine means to be a male, then what really is masculinity? Like to really dig deep into what that means. Then you have male as in an adjective and a noun in its origin. Okay, so let's just say in the noun, right? Male, human being, one of the sex that begets young. That is the origin of the word male. As a noun. As an adjective, pertaining to the sex that begets young. Masculine, belonging to the male. Grammatical, gender, of men, of male sex. We don't even have to really get into masculinity, then do we? If masculine is the extension, masculinity is the extension of masculine, and then masculine just means the same thing as being a male, and male just identifies one's sex or being able to beget young. What is the emphasis on doing our best to uplift masculinity when these are the things of the world that deceive us? We are spiritual beings. We are great entities. Our ancestors was great. They didn't worry about masculinity. They was concerned about acknowledging our roots, assisting each other as a people, gathering together, honoring our forefathers and foremothers as we move forward. Because in that, we develop healthy mental health spaces. So for instance, if all of us kept that mind state, it would be easy for Miss Vonda to find a male role model. She wouldn't have to. They would be there. Because that's the one thing about creative fearing individuals, spiritual beings, spiritual people. You don't have to tell them to help that child. You don't have to ask them, and if you do, you don't have to ask them twice. They're gonna go do it. You know how I know? Because I'm that guy. Even in my foolery, even in my ignorance, even when my house wasn't completely in order, I would still reach out to the youth and the children. It's in your innate nature to do that. That has nothing to do with masculinity. It has nothing with being a male, but everything to do with the greatness that is in you as you identify where you came from, what you're saying, and what you're doing. Comprehensive, basically to comprehend. Comprehensive just means literally to take increments of things and put it together and make it make sense. So let's not just use these big words to throw out there because they sound good and they sound powerful to draw attention to something that is a whole lot more simpler. And the simpler we make it, the stronger the impact is. And then everybody will get it. The truth is in the simple, not the complex. The complex is there to lead you astray away from the truth. The creator in which we serve, he didn't make nothing hard. He made it clear as day. He is a simple creator. People say, oh, he works in mysterious ways. No, he don't. You just think it's mysterious because you're not acknowledging him. They had this commercial when we were younger. I don't know if you remember. You remember what's the name of that? Not Time. I think it was either National Geographic or something to the effect, right? And they did an article, right? It was about a man who jumped out of an airplane, right? Had a parachute, right? It didn't open. He hit the ground, bounced twice, and lived. Okay. They said, it's a miracle. God works in mysterious ways. First of all, Salah. See, we use words and don't even identify with what they mean. What was mysterious about it we know good God will. If that man fell that high, bounced twice, and lived, we know who did it. What's mysterious about it? It's a miracle. No, it's not. It's the creator. Simple. See how simple the truth is? And how powerful that truth is? It was him. It was no miracle. It was him. We got to come up with a word to identify him, and we could just say it was him. Why? It says give him all the glory, all the praise. So when we start using words to describe what he did and instead of just saying he did it, don't we take away? If we're going by words, it's a word I just used a few minutes ago. Lie. There's no such thing. It's called a falsehood or an accusation. That's what it is. You can say whatever you want. It's your truth. If I disagree, I'm accusing you of not being accurate. I'm accusing you of not telling the truth. Because to lie literally means to lay horizontal. Literally. Please, on therapy ain't no joke. You know you're going to get the facts. Anything I say, you can Google it, YouTube it, pull up your etymology dictionary. Because the truth is therapy. As long as it's delivered respectfully, directly, sometimes metaphorically, but don't put too much sugar on it. Don't put too much sugar on it. They've been feeding this sugar our whole life. Don't you know sugar kill more people than cocaine? That's a fact. Another fact for you. That's another fact for you. Sugar has killed more people than cocaine has. ADHD, high levels of sugar. Diabetes, high levels of sugar. Inconsistencies in blood flow, high levels of sugar. Oh, please just don't think, the sugar cane like you put in your coffee, or that they put in candy. All bleached foods, pastas, rice, white rice, if not burnt off immediately, turns to sugar, and sugar not burnt off turns to fat. Come on. And don't go by that little chart they got that say what you're supposed to weigh. I'm gonna say this because I'm getting a little off topic, but it does play a part. Okay. They have that little chart, and it says at the height of 5'9", a male is supposed to be no more than 160 pounds. At 190, they're borderline obese. At 250 pounds, you are completely obese, you sick, and almost on your deathbed. Please don't believe that, y'all. That chart wasn't made for us. That was made as a gauge to oppress. How do I prove that? At 5'9", at 250 pounds, I run the 40 and 4'9". In the 400 club, bench, squat, deadlift. Healthier than the person examining me. That's how I know it's a lie. How am I obese, borderline dead, but healthier than the person examining me? Let's be realistic about this. I said all that to say that this stigma of identifying masculinity is overrated. Let's stop giving issues extra names and extra reasons to be something other than what it is. It's called lack of assistance, lack of support, lack of effective communication by each other. And it creates bigger issues. The only thing that man said that I fully agree with no talk back is As we grow up as a child, there are things that we are subject to and that are embedded in us that builds the gap between us and the truth and accepting reality, as well as acknowledging that we need help as melanated men and as men as a whole. There's a poison going on out there. There's a poison going on. And it's called the misuse of social media. There's a poison going on out there. And it's called everybody want to get on by Dancing with the Stars. But nobody want to be on Earth floating in the water. Seriously. We got to be grounded, y'all. Y'all want to know how to help melanated men and men as a whole? How to help our young boys? How to help our young men, our young girls? Stop lying to them. Tell them the truth. Give them a safe space to open up. Stop telling them they weak because they crying. Stop ignoring the fact when they ask you a question, you don't want to answer it. Either because you feel like you don't got time or you grown, you ain't got to answer nothing. Did that work for you? So why are you doing it? Your parents did it to you and you thought it's okay because there's no handbook to being a parent. So you did it to your child. And in turn, that child going to do it to the other one. And consistently and constantly devouring their potential in life because you don't want to accept something outside of what you're taught. You want to accept what your homeboy and your homegirl and your auntie and your uncle and your brother, respectively, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, have said for so long, and that's what you believe in, and that's what you're standing on. Have you ever seen them pick up a dictionary? Have you ever seen them study any kind of law? Have you ever seen them assist someone without wanting anything in return? Have you ever seen them just reach out to people and help just because? Did they ever teach you the emphasis or the breakdown of the Bible for those that follow the Bible? Not just took you to church and said you better go to church, you better go to Bible study, and you better learn the Bible. Not the pastor said this and then that's what you go study and that's what you accept because that's what that is. No offense to no pastors, none of that. But actually go study. Because if you'd read the word, it says, study my word to show thyself approval unto me. And let's be clear, okay? This is not a bragging moment, but let's be clear. For those who feel like they might want to challenge, who seem to see themselves in a higher authority, I respect it, but I'm an ordained minister as well. We can get busy. We can both break our word out. We can both pray, and we can both decipher this together. The word says, challenge the spirit. It does. It says it. It says test the spirit. It does. It says study the word to show thyself approved unto me. It does. So you're more than welcome, as long as it's respectful. We can build, we can grow, we can break it down, and stop taking stuff off face value. Everybody always want somebody to prove something to them, but what are you proving to yourself when you don't seek help? When you don't ask for help? And then you don't want to ask for help because you don't want people looking at you crazy. Why you care about how they look at you when you asking for help, but you care about how they look at you if your sneakers are scuffed up? Make it make sense. Oh, your hair look crazy. You scared to go outside or you want to cover it up, but you talking crazy. And when somebody address you, they wrong. It's backwards. These are the things we need to bring to the forefront on months like this. Let the men know you're not alone. You're not by yourself. It's other men out here standing on business that can help you, that can guide you, that can uplift you, that can support you, that can mentor you, or just be there to be your crying shoulder. Masculinity, you can have it, as far as I'm concerned. I don't need that. I need the creator, and I need to identify the best version of myself and walk in it. As the young folks say, like I said earlier, stand on business. You hear me? That part. That part. We can get educated, or we can talk educated gangster, which is just telling the truth in a form of affirmation and a slight form of aggression with a slight twitch of a lip, like I'm doing right now. But I'm still generous, and I'm still kind, and I'm still respectful, and I'm still here to help you if I can. This what you call gangster, y'all. Put them guns down. Put them knives down. Put that attitude away. This is your Men's Mental Health Month awakening on Therapy Ain't No Joke, because therapy is not a joke. It's an avenue of greatness. So you can be the best version of you. We're not playing over here. We two grown men over here that's doing whatever we can to help the young men, the young guys, the older guys, even the elders that are older than us, fully comprehend the avenues of greatness we can achieve together if we identify each other, even if don't nobody else do. Like, share, subscribe. Stop playing, y'all. It's not a joke. Not a joke.
Absolutely. Wow. See, Rasa took away my thunder. But in a good way. In a good way, though. In a good way. We only got a few.
You was the thunder, I was just the lightning. That's all. That's all.
Follow us on social media at The Mental Space Live. Since we only have a few minutes left, and I want to personally thank Vonda for coming on. She had to go, but we hope to have her back on the show in the near future. But I'm glad that we brought her on just in time to play that excerpt. Because let me just tell the viewers quickly my take on the video before we close out the show. Because there were a lot of different things that went through my mind when I first watched the video. And looking at Vonda's situation, which, you know, of course, Vonda's situation, which you got to give a hand clap for. You got to tip your hat, just like what you just did. You got to tip your hat for her and everything, for getting her son a therapist, helping her get her son get a job to be a very important and productive citizen. You know, being a single mom, and of course, I come from a single parent household. It's not a walk in the park, obviously. And a lot of single moms, especially the ones that are watching and tuning in, when you have a son, when you bring a son into the world, a black son, it's obvious that your black son is not going to be treated the same as a daughter. That's obvious, and that's just the opinion of myself, Sean Garvey, here on Therapy Ain't No Joke. And being that I have a mom who, you know, of course, was a single mom most of her life, from the time I was born all the way up to my late 30s, and seeing what all she had to deal with me and how society treated me. Not just only as a black man, but as a dark-skinned man. And so when I was listening to Tamara Hall, and just like Vonda and our good brother Rasta was listening to, I heard Tamara mention I had the black boy as a protagonist. And when she had a son, she realized that, oh, now that I have a black son in the world and everything, things are definitely different now because I have on these new different glasses due to the fact that I brought in a black son into the world. Now I look at everything differently. Which of course can be normal, you know, at the end of the day. But let me also say this too. A few weeks ago, me and Lightworker Wayne, shouts to Lightworker Wayne, they had the Black Men's Lab a few weeks ago. And a lot of us black men, if some of them, if not most of them, heard what Jason Wilson said in the video, would be in both agreement with both Jason and with Rasta. You know, and that's why I was very passionate, ladies and gentlemen, earlier in the show about Men's Health Month, Men's Mental Health Month being overshadowed by things that are going on in the media. You know, because we as men, we deal and we still dealing with a lot of stuff that we need to go get help for. We need to go get therapy for. We need to sit down and speak to somebody about it and stuff. And, you know, the world is changing every single time, every single day. The world is changing. But as a black man, it's like, it's still, certain things are still the same to us in society. You know, I mean, we deal with racism, we deal with the isms, we deal with implicit bias at a job, at functions and things of that sort and what have you. But going back to the Black Men's Lab, when we discuss media and mental health, it becomes a problem. It becomes very problematic when people consume so much from media of how black men are, or how Hollywood or whoever portrays black men to be. It becomes very problematic for us because society or a group of people or a certain type of community think that that's who we are. All of us are not criminals. All of us are not gangsters. All of us are not predators. All of us are not this. There are men like Rasta that are good husbands, good fathers, great fathers in the household that do ministry work, that do therapy work. There are men like myself that do great work in the community through broadcasting, whether it's TV, whether it's radio, podcast, and what have you. And I know Vonda's son is going to do great things in the world, despite whether or not he's on the spectrum. But yet, we're dealing with something, ladies and gentlemen, we're dealing with something that is very problematic in our world, in our community, and that is black men being looked in a certain type of way without recognizing or understanding the history of what happened to our male ancestors, what happened to our ancestry, to what happened to us, or to what happened to brothers like Rasta in his past life, or what happened to me in our past life. So, you know, so before people judge us, understand the story, or have a conversation, speak to that black man, you know, and just have or just have a safe space, if you will. Have that safe space for that black man to really allow him to be vulnerable enough to tell his story, as opposed to just right off the cuff judging him. You know, we have a serious mental illness in our world, in our community. And I'm just tired of Rasta. I'm just tired of black men out there having to be silent or to be unheard because they feel, or they fear that people are going to judge them. They fear that, oh man, you know, that ain't nothing, man. Shut up, be quiet, be masculine and stuff like that. No, we got to provide that safe space for enough Black men to really be able to be expressive and to also help other Black men in the community. You know, I don't want to go to another event like the Black Men, and big shout outs to the people at the Black Men's Lab, Lightworker Wayne and the whole crew and everything. But I'm going to say this. I don't want to continue on going to meetings and meetings and meetings and speaking engagements, and there's no action. There's nothing being done. Nothing. There's nothing being done. There needs to be action, y'all. There needs to be some sort of plan of action to take us further, to take us to the next step, and to help Black men get on the right path, or else it's just going to be another day at the office. I work in the news environment. I come across these stories every single day. The first few minutes into the news, you already know what they're reporting about. And a lot of them, what you see are mug shots of Black men that look like me and Rasta. And that's a fact, y'all. And that's a serious mental health issue. So again, as we get ready to close out the show, I want to invite people to not only tune in to Therapy Ain't No Joke every Wednesday night from 7 to 9 p.m., but I also want to encourage people to dial this number, especially Black men as well. Dial the Crisis and Suicide Lifeline, 988, if you or someone you know is facing a mental health crisis. I want to repeat that one more time, 988. And then you can also contact the National Alliance for Mental Illness helpline at 1-800-950-NAMI. That's 1-800-950-NAMI 6264, or send an email to info@nami.org. Operational hours are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What blew my mind before we closed the show out, Roster, is that Vonda got educated on tonight's show and did not know that this month was Men's Mental Health Month. That's very interesting.
You was just mentioning the fact that it's people that just don't know unless they hear it. Nobody broadcasts it. Nobody advertises it unless they're getting paid to.
But that's why we have shows like these. This is why we have shows like these, and we put out the number. And to this very day, Roster, there's people out there that did not know that there is a number to contact the National Alliance for Mental Illness, nor a number like 988 exists. And that's why we gotta, as melanated people, we have to have shows and episodes like this to spread the awareness and get the information out there and to help people in our community. So we're getting ready to close out. Like I said, Rasta, any last words?
Y'all be great on purpose. When you wake up, let it be for a purpose. When you get out of the bed, create a purpose. When you walk out that door, know where you're going. Don't go out the door trying to figure out where you're going to go. Know where you're going. Know why you're getting in your car. Know the reason you're going to the destination. Regardless of what it's for, how minor it is. The homie called me the other day. Hey, Rasta, I'm finna throw something on the grill. You coming? What we gonna do when I get there? What you mean? We grilling out. Okay, it only takes one person to grill, brother. Like, what we doing when I get there? I don't know. All right, call me when you figure it out. It's not rude. I'm moving with a purpose. I'm not gonna leave the comfort of my home in 100-degree weather to go outside to your house to sit in 100-degree weather and watch you cook on the grill. I'm not gonna leave the comfort of my home with me and my wife to go to your house to sit in your house just to sit in your house while you cook on the grill. What's the purpose? I brought that up to say, regardless of how small it is, move with a purpose.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we got to get up out of here. We'll see you next week. Take care. Peace.